See how it's like shaded down there? Are you on there?
Where?
Looks like it's dark down there.
Yeah, let me see what's going on.
I'm not covering up.
Cassie Jackman's live on Talk It Out. No, it's normal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's normal.
Woo-hoo-hoo! So you can hear us okay then.
Yeah, we are two middle-aged ladies trying to figure out how to use technology.
We suck. But that's okay.
That's close enough. I don't think anybody's...
okay.
Just
leave it alone.
Yeah, somebody say something if you are really bothered, like your OCD's totally triggered. If you're totally triggered with the crookedness of this thing, because that's a you problem, but we'll try to do our best.
And give us a thumbs up if you can hear okay, because we do have these little mics. Test.
Hello?
Like we've tested them. It tends to work okay for us. Anybody making any comments?
Somebody's throwing up a thumb.
Okay, then I guess that means
okay.
So, welcome to Talk It Out, Talk It Out, Talk It Out. So, this is Jen. Jen was with us. This little thing's like gonna drive me crazy too. Was with us.
Jammy time.
Yep. So was that 2 Saturdays ago?
I think so.
Gosh, already.
Yes, because last Saturday I got some new jammies already.
You went back and got more?
I did. I needed a long
Hi, my
gown.
name is Jen.
Yeah. I'm addicted to Joy Spun pajamas at Walmart.
Never heard of them, and now I'm going to be loaded with them.
Yeah.
So
I just think hashtag Joy Spun, hashtag Walmart. I don't care. Send me a Walmart card. Yeah.
I know. I tried hashtagging.
We're pushing their merch.
Hello. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but evidently everybody knew about their Joy Spun before we did, because
they did?
A lot of people, well, Jody, Gerald's, Dominique, who else? There were like people we stood in line with. She already had some.
Yeah. We're just late to the game,
we are
Cass.
very, very late.
I'm telling you what.
Very.
But there's 2 girls at my work that didn't know about Joy Spun jammies. Shout out to Amy and Cody. And they didn't know about Joy Spun jammies. Sorry, Starla. I don't know if you had your Joy Spun jammies yet or not. If you didn't, go get you some. But
well, Kelsey went out and bought some too.
Yeah, those girls did.
I'm like, let me show you. And she's like, okay.
And their home lives are now redefined. Seriously.
Life is good.
Yeah.
Life is good. Okay.
In the event of a fire, I will now have on pants. I don't do well with pants. Everybody knows me, that knows me well, knows I don't like leg prisons. And so whenever I found the Joy Spun jammy pants, I was like, yes, if my house catches on fire, my nether regions will be covered. You're welcome.
Thanks, Tara.
Yeah. Thank you, Tara.
Thanks to you. That's why.
Yep.
That is why. Anybody?
Courtney Francis, thank you for joining and watching with us.
Oh, look.
Please share with your friends.
Look. Jen's going to be great. So Jen's going to be officially with us like all the time if she wants to, or however she wants to do it. But
basically that means as long as they want me, or
we
until
want
I'm
her
removed.
because she makes it. So the 3 of us make it. We really had a good time on Saturday for sure.
Chemistry.
Yes, we do have good chemistry. So I was like, Jen, you should be on here, which we've always said that Jen should be a stand-up comic. So, it's just obviously, it's just natural, like nothing.
I'm just basically like a train wreck. And if you can't,
a lot of middle-aged women.
Yeah, pretty much all of us. Now, you can either be stuffy and bougie about it. I think people in general really think entirely too much of themselves sometimes. Because if you can't laugh at yourself, your life is miserable.
Absolutely.
Really.
Make sure I'm not cutting myself off. I sit like a kid.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. So
I wish I could.
Miss Michelle, she may be live. I don't know. From home. She's just having some downtime. But she will be back with us soon.
Love me some Michelle.
So yes, Michelle's awesome. So Jen and I, we didn't really have anything planned, and we met up a little bit on Saturday, had a little Sunday in the pool, and really didn't get a whole lot accomplished except that I learned that Jen, what's your dad call them? Little movies?
Little movies.
Little movies. And so we, I'm like talking to Jen, and all of a sudden Jen's like, look at that tree over there just walking. And so then she started explaining about little movies. So we just kind of talked about that. And Jen was just asking about, you know, what are we looking at doing here? And honestly, we don't know what we're looking at doing here except reaching out to others and making people laugh. I think really it's just, I think my main goal is just to share joy.
Yeah.
You know, because it's easy to share negativity.
It is. And you know, go like this.
I got
Get you, or lipstick. There you go. That's
Thanks,
got
Jen.
some staying power. That's what friends do. Live.
Yes. The best. Find your friends.
You know, I think, you know, like you and I were talking about Saturday, life is just hard. I think life's really hard for a lot of people for multitudes of reasons. It just seems like everyone you talk to is in a hard spot right now.
Absolutely.
And it's just, you know, I'm going through some stuff. I know you're going through some stuff. I know Michelle's going through some stuff. I just think we're all going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people are very neglectful to talk it out. Hashtag talk it out. See what I did there?
I do.
Because I don't know. I think that maybe we're probably the last generation that was raised as if you've got some problems, you just stay quiet with your problems. You just work on your problems. You don't have to broadcast them to everybody else. But like I've got, like my mom is like me. She'll just tell you. She'll just tell you what's going on. And then her sister like doesn't say anything to anybody about anything. And you think her life's perfect all the time, and it's not.
Right.
And when you get in quiet time with her, she'll readily admit that to you. But it's just really easy to pretend like you've got it all together. And I think that people forget that it's okay to have problems, and it's okay to say that you're having problems and to ask for help.
And I was kind of thinking about it today because I think you made the comment about it doesn't have to be, I don't know what your verbiage was. See, and this is how my middle-aged mind works, is it doesn't remember, but you said something about broadcasting it or what, like not talking about it. And so part of me thought, because talk it out, obviously that's what we're doing.
Right.
And so, I mean, it is going to get personal, in which I enjoy listening to those types of topics because then it makes me feel like I'm not the only one that's going through it.
Exactly.
And so actually my younger sister and I were texting back and forth a little bit today, and just, you know, I was kind of asking for some opinion on how she handles things, and she had, you know, recommended a couple books and just different things. It's just funny because I think that everything seems perfect on her side. Not that it's not, but you know, she's struggling with some things too. And so how do you handle the mental, the just everything?
Everything. Mental, emotional,
yeah,
spiritual,
yes,
physical even, because if you're an internalizer, which I find that if I don't just bleh and like throw up my problems all over you, I internalize it and literally make myself physically sick.
Yes, yes. And I will keep it in, depending on situations, obviously different scenarios, but sometimes it'll just, and then other times it just bubbles up, and then there's that one little thing that happens, and then boom, you know, I shut down, or I go crazy, or
I call it retreat. I retreat. It's like the turtle in the shell, and I just go like, bye-bye. Yeah, I go to my room, I close all the curtains, like I don't talk to people. It's just, it gets ugly because I don't know what else to do. So it's kind of like I go on safe mode, like your computer, and nobody can figure out how to get in there and turn the battery back on. You know, so it's like,
absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, so we talked about trying to find somebody. So anybody who may be watching and willing to want to come on and talk about mental awareness, how to handle, how to do,
yeah.
Or, you know, any suggestions anybody may have that you guys, you know, that you do. I mean, I've come a long way because I used to be really, really, really bad. And honestly, my biggest therapy right now is music. And for the most part, it's the spiritual. Like I wasn't listening to Christian music for the longest time. And there's really a lot of good music out there.
Yeah, there is.
And the words, if it really catches you, can really smack you in the face. So.
Okay, so for those that don't know me, I'm a real shiny ball kind of girl. So like, take me off on a tangent, little movies. So as soon as you said spiritual music, one thing that I want to point out that I was taught one time, and it was huge to me. I didn't understand it before. Lucifer his gifting was music. And so before he was a fallen angel, he led the angelic choirs, like he was, and so
Really?
as he fell, he's still the leader of music. That's still his gifting, even though he's using it very improperly.
Right.
So I heard a Bible teacher say, music will speak to one of three things. I hope I don't get this wrong because I didn't think about this ahead of time, but just stick with me. Yeah. It'll get there. We'll talk it out. It might take a minute
exactly.
to talk it out. But he's either going to...
No rules.
Right. He's going to worship something in every... Music worships something in every kind of music. It either worships self, it worships man, or it worships God. And so you have to listen to each one and think about what it is. So it's either like, you know, I think about Toby Keith. What about me? What about what about number one? Oh my, me, my. So you're either going to worship yourself, or it's worshiping stuff like, you know, Nellyville, House on a Hill, Look at Matt of Fur, right? So, or it worships God.
Right.
So you really have to be cognizant of what you're bringing into your spirit man.
Yeah.
Because that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
And my aunt, she knows I'm going through some stuff, the one that's real quiet about her things. She asked me over to her house yesterday. She said, I bought you a book. And, you know, I'm not feeling real people-y, and I already had to do like a bridal shower and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to have to be people-y. And
sometimes when you're not real people-y, like that's when you need it and you actually enjoy.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's exactly right. And so, and I think that's when God goes, you gonna push this boundary? Yeah,
exactly.
Like, I need for you to do something. Do you want to push this boundary, or do you want to retreat, which is not what I want you to do?
Right.
So I went to her house, and she had gotten me this book. It's Joyce Meyer, who I love anyway. And it's, I'm gonna get the title wrong, but it's like The Secret of Praying Scripture or Praying God's Word. And the book is written, it's scriptures for specific types of issues. So like anxiety, depression, job loss, you know, all the different things. And so you can look up which thing you're having trouble with and then flip over to where that is. And instead of it being written in the scripture in the third person, or even, you know, like the Bible is usually in third person, it's written in first person. So when you pray these scriptures, you're praying I. Yeah. So, that was, and she said, you know, be sure and speak life, because a lot of the issues that we have today get to us and they start to weigh us down, and we start to speak negatively about things. So we have to understand, whether you believe it or not, some people don't believe it and they think it's scriptural hooey or spiritual hooey, and that's okay. But if you believe that there are good and bad spirits in the world, some people are okay with believing in ghosts,
right? But
then they don't want to believe in the Holy Spirit,
right?
Or you believe in the Holy Spirit, but then you don't want to believe in evil spirits. Well, you can't take one without the other. Right. You don't get the yolk and the egg separate unless you buy it in those cardboard boxes, which is really bad and not the real thing. But so you have to take it all together. And when we speak things that are negative about our situation, and I am so bad about that, which is why she bought me the book. So she's like, speak life. Do not speak negatively over your situation. So I think that when we speak negatively, it feeds into that negativity, and then you further decline into negativity.
And we're all guilty of it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's just the fact of, I think if you can recognize it, that's the big thing, you know, and
if you can't, be somebody's friend and go, you know what? I feel like you're just being real negative.
Right.
Let's talk, you know, let's talk positive.
And I don't like to confront a whole lot. I mean, you know, I'm just hit or miss on how I roll with that, but it's so speaking of shiny balls, not that I really meant that, but it just came out that way. And so now you gotta laugh.
Yep.
So talking about, you know, ghosts and Holy Ghost, spiritual ghosts, talking about ghosts in general. You know, when I lived on the house in Division, which by the way, people live there now that I know. I'm telling you, ghosts.
Did you live in the Ann West Lindsay neighbor house?
I lived right next door. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that. So for those that don't know, Ann West Lindsay was this lovely lady in Carterville. I wasn't from there then. It's a whole thing. Franklin County, don't go there. Just let's not go there. I didn't mean don't go to Franklin County. I mean like, let's not go there. So, but anyway, I've been in Carterville for 33 years now. And, so I'm a Williamson County girl really, but, more than 2/3 of my life. So what?
I feel like I should put this over here.
Why?
I don't know. I'm like really paranoid that, nobody can hear me, although they probably
Can somebody just comment and say whether you can hear us or not?
Sorry.
Maybe they might be watching it and going like, look at these two yap bags, but their mouths are moving and nothing's coming out.
It's good.
There's no telling what kind of sound that's making right now.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
But it makes me feel better that it's right here.
Yeah, that I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
In line.
Yes.
So they can pick up the heavy breathing.
And the obnoxious laugh that I can't stand.
That's terrible. Well, we were testing the audio and I told you I think I sound like cornbread.
I'm like, what does cornbread sound like?
Whatever you think it's going to sound like, that's what I sound like.
So anyways, back to ghosts.
Yes. So Ann West Lindsay, it's like, what were we talking about? Shiny ball. Squirrel. So Ann West Lindsay was this lovely lady, and I had the privilege and honor of being the vice president and then the president for about 4 or 5 years of the Ann West Lindsay District Library Friends group. And the Friends group is like a booster club for the library, which is fabulous. We would collect money for the library to help them pay for things that like their regular intake and money can't pay for. So I learned a lot about Ann West Lindsay while I was there. And she was a lovely lady who lived next door to where the library is now. And when she passed, she gave the money she was an author. She just was a really interesting lady. And there's a little stuff set up in there. You can go check her out or just Google her. You can do that. Google Ann West Lindsay, Ann with an E. And, she gifted her land to the library. So that's where they have the new library built now. And it's beautiful. Go see it. Shameless plug for the library, except for I'm not affiliated with Friends Board anymore, but you really should go see it. During COVID, when libraries were closing down because everything was online, our library continued to grow and continued to see more visitors than most libraries did. So it's a really cool place. Hi, Director Mary Stoner. Love her. She's great. So anyway, Ann West Lindsay lived next to where the library is now, and you lived in the house next to
there
that.
was a library, then there was a house, but I think they tore that house down, and so then the house that I grew up in was right next door.
Is where Ivana Ward lives now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now they get to see the lady with the curlers.
Exactly. So I'd be curious to talk to her to see if they've ever experienced, because so far anybody else who has lived in that house has had some kind of experience. I think they're nice and fun ghosts.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're, but you still,
Okay, little movie just happened. So all I can think of is the time you told me about the lady with the curlers in her hair.
No, it was
something about a lady in curlers. It was, and I
eating a banana.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
with her.
So the upstairs wasn't obviously an attic. Then we turned it into 2 bedrooms and a bathroom when we lived in it. Dad did, and. So, yes. So I'm the type that if I get up in the middle of the night, like I don't turn on any lights or anything. I just like go and do my business. Well, I mean, it's really dark up there. And so I never turn the hallway light on, because if I did, then it would affect Amy's room because her room was right there. And so anyways, I just, went. So I'm like, bathroom, and I look up and I swear standing in the doorway was actually, I say it's Jeannie Epps' grandma, but I don't really know where that came from, to be honest. But had her hair up like in a towel, wrapped up in towel, eating a banana. And like I caught that standing in the doorway, and then I just couldn't look. And then I was afraid to get up and go. And when I was done.
Well, mine the little movie.
Then I just like ran.
Well, yeah, that's creepy. I remember waking up.
Ringing the bed.
The only kind of experience I think I've ever had, and it could have totally been a dream. I have no idea. What do we know? But, I was about 4 or 5 years old. And I remember like just opening my eyes in the middle of the night, and there was this tall dude standing. And I had like a 4-poster bed, and it was olive green. My mom painted it olive green with hot pink floral bedding. It was
nice.
Pretty 70s. And so, there was this tall, skinny dude that was standing, and he had like a felt hat on with a big wide brim on it and a wide band. And he was just kind of standing there looking at me, and I was like, wow. And like just went back to sleep. He didn't do anything, didn't move, didn't say anything. He was just standing there, like kind of off to the side a little so I don't know. I don't know if God does that. I don't know if the devil does that. I don't know where those things come from or what's going on with those. I don't know. I don't think it's for me to know. I don't think I want to dig into it. But what really messes with my head is, since you told that story, it's anytime anybody says anything about ghosts at all now, I'm like,
is that what you're thinking about?
Nah, yeah, because that's going to be me. I'm going to come back like wrapped in a too small towel.
And your Joy Spun.
Yeah, in my Joy Spun jammies. Yeah, with the pants off. Like, so I'll be in my skivvies with a Joy Spun like tank top on and my 54-year-old sweet meat hanging out the bottom of my arms. That's what I call this stuff that's bingo wings, but it's just sweet meat. So yeah, I'm scared of that now. It's a real fear of mine.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
I don't know why I couldn't come back like glamorous. But instead, it's going to be me in a towel. It's too small. Eating a banana.
I have no idea where that came from, but the image, I mean, it was plain as day.
Did you know Jean Epps' grandma?
I don't think I did. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. That's just so.
So do you see why we need the mental health therapist to come on and explain things to us like this?
But like I said, I mean, for the longest time, because even my sisters like witnessed things too. Like there was one time the garage door opened, just automatically opened up. Like I swear, just things. And that happened to different people that lived there too. And
weird.
So yeah. So the fact that it just wasn't, I mean, it's an old home, but I mean, did you see that?
No. What did you just do?
I think it was a gnat.
I thought you meant you did that when you saw the lady with the turban and the banana.
No.
Just pooed
I
out.
was just trying to fly in my mouth. So before we had the upstairs though, Amy and I shared a room downstairs, and I mean, windows all over the house. So then I'd freak myself out easily that way too, because I'm like, somebody's looking in and I can't see them. And I mean, windows in all the rooms. And when we would get in bed, I just remember like when I'd get in bed, I wouldn't move. Like I would stay in the position because I just didn't want anybody to know that I was there. And then I would hear like sounds and.
Yeah. Listen, we could go off on a whole tangent about childhood perceptions. I think we talked a little bit about that on Saturday. So, and one of the things that I wrote down just for us to talk about in case we ran out of things, but I don't think that we'd ever run out of things to talk about is, my question was initially, and I even reframed it because my first question was negative-ish. So like, what irks you the most about youngsters? Because we're not the youngsters anymore, so we can say youngsters. So AKA, what would you like to teach I can't even talk. The younger generation. And so we talked a lot Saturday about the perceptions of a child and how they're so different than the perceptions of an adult and the way memories are. You can have, I work in the court system. And so when we have witnesses come in, we talk about, I have to sit there and be quiet, just write everything down. But the attorneys will talk about the different perceptions of people. You can have one event and 5 witnesses, and all 5 witnesses will give you a different perception,
right,
or viewpoint of what happened. And we had an assistant state's attorney that was just phenomenal at this during jury selection, and she would tell everybody in the jury box to close their eyes, and then she would say, without opening your eyes, tell me what color pants I have on, or what color blazer I'm wearing, or if I'm wearing any jewelry that you noticed, or, different things about her. Or she'd say, give me an article of clothing that I'm wearing. And some people would comment, some people would say they didn't know, some people had it wrong, some people were very descriptive. One of them noticed a ring that she had on, because it's one of those rings that has the tree of life on it. Mm-hmm. And they noticed that. But hardly anyone, and there's usually 14 people in the box, hardly anyone talks about the same thing. Nobody notices the same thing.
Right.
So when you talk about the perceptions of a child versus the perceptions of an adult, they're going to be way different. So, and I think, and I know this is what makes me an old person now, because I go like little whippersnappers. I wish we could teach them a lesson or two. So what's a lesson that you'd like to teach them, Cass?
Jen.
Let's just talk it out.
Yeah, let's talk it out.
Open this can of worms.
One of my biggest things I think now is, and I feel like I repeat this all the time, and I mean, it's not necessarily, it's just be nice, just in general, no matter where you're at, what you're doing, whatever, just be nice. But I don't know what.
That's funny that you say that, because I wrote down a couple of ideas, and one of them is please and thank you, never go out of style.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the door's opening up, you run and grab the door to, you know, and continue to hold it until, I don't know. And I don't think some do, obviously, but I mean, I just think that some are just kind of, they're just thinking of themselves. They open the door and just go on in. Don't worry about who's behind you, who's coming out, whatever. So I think it's just more of a, and that goes back to me, it goes back to that customer service type thing. So, I mean, that's what I want to be when I grow up, is just be a motivational speaker on customer service, and just how to be just respectful and just, I don't know.
Well, I told you
I don't know that I really answered that question very well.
No, you did. I think you did, because it's lost. It's like, why are these things that should be common sense lost?
Yeah.
They're like lost arts. Kindness is a lost art.
Yeah.
Thinking of others is a lost art.
Yeah.
It's a very me-oriented society, and everybody wants to know what you can do for me.
And did we discuss that on our Jammy Day?
I don't know.
Did we discuss about selfies and things like that, or was that after the fact of being on live?
I don't remember.
I feel like we talked about.
I slept since then.
How people do, you know, I mean, there's a lot of selfies out there.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of doing them too, but I mean.
Not me, man.
You know, Snapchat and all that stuff, just taking some selfies, and just, so it's just like me.
Right. Like, what happened?
I don't know.
I take pictures of me with my chickens. I send selfies to Warner.
Well, I was going to say, you probably do that for Warner. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Selfies with the chickens.
It's very rare that I take selfies. If I do, I don't share them all the time. Majority of my selfies happen when I'm playing with Snapchat and messing with the filters and cracking myself up.
Those are so
those.
funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Those are the best. That was another episode we talked about doing too, is like having a Snapchat filter pulled up, you know. And
like yeah.
Turn around and record us and see, you know, like the whole.
I saw you guys. I don't know if you were doing a bloopers or what you were doing, but it was so funny. It was so funny.
Yeah, we're weird.
So there's a you know, shiny ball. You just got to keep up with us. Just keep going.
Sorry.
So there was
you middle-aged women. You have you know problem.
You know. There was it's like one of those. What's it called? What's the word I'm thinking of? First word sounds like when you get online and you try to do a contest, but it's a viral contest kind of a thing. A viral. What's the word I'm looking for?
Trend.
Yeah, but it's like something you try to do or not do. So these parents would put their baby there, and then they fill their mouth up with milk, water, whatever they have in their mouth. And they turn around and the filter picks up everybody, and they have to try not to spit their beverage out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one of the trends that we were,
Yeah, that's funny.
That is funny.
I was cracking. I would have spit my drink out watching the people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was hilarious.
Absolutely.
Of course, I realize we're probably more easily entertained than most these days.
Pretty much.
But, one of the things I put on there that I think they should learn is, to enjoy your hair, because it's not always going to be the same. Hair doesn't stay the same.
No,
it changes a lot. Menopause is not kind to your hair. You'll lose hair. It will come in different texture. My hair's been straight as a stick my whole entire life, and now all of a sudden it's curly, which is why it looks like this today, because I went outside and the humidity goes, watch this. Yeah, it was very bizarre. I had a conversation with my son not too long ago, and why we were talking about it doesn't matter, but it's just the comment that he made. And I'm not saying he's incorrect. I'm just saying that I didn't agree with what he said at the time that he said it. So he said trauma is relative, and you can't diminish someone else's trauma.
I'm blinding myself.
Yeah, that sun's coming right in on you.
Okay, thanks. Oh, don't mind mine.
Tight quarters.
It is tight quarters.
But it doesn't look like it on screen. It looks like it's a big roomy studio.
Oh,
yes, we have a big roomy studio.
I don't know if that's any better.
No, it is.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Sit down and see if you can see now.
Well, yeah, I can see now.
Okay, that's
so,
good.
Yes. So I guess it is better.
It must be better.
Yes. Okay, so Gunner.
So Gunner was talking about, trauma is relative. Or I said trauma is relative, and he said no, because you can't diminish other people's trauma. Trauma is trauma. So it doesn't matter if someone's been through small trauma, medium trauma, large trauma, that because my trauma is different than someone else's,
right?
You still have to appreciate that they both consider it trauma. Okay, so I understand that that's the touchy-feely new way of doing things. And I would never want to diminish someone's trauma, because what hurts, hurts. It doesn't matter if it's a death, if it's a breakup, if it's a boo-boo on a kid.
Right.
Pain is pain. But one thing that's really helped me in my life is to know I had a pastor. I go, people have taught me things. I know that's probably hard to believe, but I have learned some things from some people through my lifetime. And I hope to learn much more, because I haven't stopped yet. A pastor once said, if you think your life is bad, go outside. It'll take you about 15 minutes to find somebody whose life is worse than yours. And that spoke volumes to me. And that was Brother Ted Anderson. I'm going to tag you in this on Facebook, because that's one of the biggest things that you ever said to me that has helped me so much in my life. Because there are so many things that happen to so many people. Everybody's going to have trauma. Everybody's going to have pain. Everybody's going to have situations that they wish they weren't in. And you don't have to poo-poo that, but you just have to look at it and say, that's not as bad as my life could be, because I can look at that person and, I know this sounds crass to say it like this, but like, their life sucks.
Right.
And my life is not that bad.
Right.
And so I really think that you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which is a real thing, AOC. You really can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You literally grab your bootstraps and pull them on. Not to be political, but yeah. She said it's a physical impossibility to do that. No, you really can. You pull them on.
Yeah.
And so, you can just tighten up your walk. You can tighten up your feelings. You can put it in perspective.
Yeah.
I have never been homeless. I have never gone with an empty belly. I have never had, I won't even mention the things, because no matter, like my family, members of my family have gone through some horrific things, and they're still smiling on the other end, because they've seen people whose life is worse than theirs.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that young people understand that you don't get stuck in your feelings because you're so focused on yourself. You need to stop and look at other people and go, my life could be that, but for the grace of God, there go I. That could be my life, but it's better. And I can pull myself up and understand that it's better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's too me oriented right now.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. I agree.
So all you other old gals, just comment on in, even if you're replaying it.
Is anybody watching us now?
Courtney's still on, unless she's
Courtney.
Somebody else is on too, but it might be me. I don't know who it's counting. It could be counting me, but Courtney is on. I hope she's not turned the sweeper on and she's just like laid the phone down just to make us feel good, like we've got one more watcher. If you have done that, Courtney, thank you, because it is helping. But I hope that you're enjoying watching it anyway.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because we're enjoying it.
We're enjoying it.
So
I just hope that since we want to bring joy to others, I hope that.
And so that's what I was kind of getting to, earlier, as far as like the broadcasting of, I want to talk because I know there's other people out there that feel the way I feel, that have the thoughts that I have. But they're afraid to say, because I'm that person who's afraid to speak up. Believe it or not. Growing up, like, I didn't like to raise my hand. I didn't like to, I just didn't, and I'm afraid anything that's going to come out of my mouth is stupid. And even to this day, I'll still be like, got a stupid question, even though I tell people there is never a stupid question.
True.
Because when I'm training, I want them to be as comfortable as possible, because I know how I felt when I first started a new job at the VA and how overwhelming it was and whatever. I don't want to forget that feeling, because I get what these people are feeling that are coming in. And so I'm
Right.
like, there's never, ever a stupid question. I don't care how long you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there
was
just...
one stupid question one time that I heard.
What was that?
I had gone to, this is so bad. God love this girl. I hope she came out all right. I had gone to childbirth classes with my daughter. You know, she's a single mom. So I had gone to childbirth classes with her. And there's probably 40 couples. And by couples, I mean a pregnant person and someone else. Because clearly,
right,
you know, other people had significant other people with them. So we're sitting there and they're going through the birthing class and talking about different things and epidurals and IVs and yada, yada. And this girl raises her hand. Class, probably 80 people in there. She raises her hand and goes, am I going to have to get an IV? Because needles really hurt. I'm scared of needles. And I looked at Peyton and I was like, she's in for a real surprise, isn't she? This isn't going to go well for her. And I thought that was a stupid question.
Yeah.
Because you're getting ready to shoot a human
out of a
wormhole. And you are having a problem with venipuncture.
I mean, how did they think that was going to happen? Just,
I don't know.
Fairy dust?
I guess so.
Epidural?
I'm going to do breathing and use some essential oils. I'm not saying that essential oils don't work for things, but okay, so that another little movie, that reminds me. So I had to get this thing done on my back. I had to have it 2 times. It's called radiofrequency ablation because I have low back issues because I fell with my dog. It's a whole story that we'll go through another time. But I fell with my dog. He pulled me through the air like a Macy's Day float is what happened. And then I hit the concrete really hard. And I ended up tearing a bunch of things, my knees, my face, and apparently my back. So these little nerve endings got nasty. And in order to make that stop, they go in there with some big long needles and they basically electrocute them dead so that they can't hurt you anymore. So the first time that happened, it was lovely. And there was some guy, I think his name was Josh, sitting up by my head. Maybe it was Jake, but he was giving me some hooray juice that made me, you know, I'm pretty sure it was Versed, which I think they should sell over the counter.
It's the best.
It is. Propofol is actually the best, but because Versed leaves you kind of feeling wonky. No, I was with Dr. Tennyson Lee over in Carbondale with that.
Oh, okay.
And so he did that.
I think he did one of mine too.
That was great.
Yeah.
It was great. It really worked. I was really anxious for nothing and it was really good. The second time I went in, wasn't anxious at all, knew how it was a no big deal. I was going to be sore for a couple days, but other than that, I was going to be golden. I walk in, there's no Jake/Josh. And I go, where's anesthesia? And they go, oh, insurance doesn't pay for anesthesia for radiofrequency ablation anymore. I'm like, what's going to happen here when you drive these 2 spikes down into my back? And she goes, I'm your tapper. And I was like, tapper? I don't even understand what that means. That must be a new medical term. So as God is my witness, she stands at the head of me while they prepare.
She tap your head or something.
No, she tapped my shoulders like this. I thought, this is some backwoods alley, like Chinese thing. Like you would get if you go to China and they're doing some unapproved thing in a back alley is what I'm trying to say. And she's standing there going like this. And I thought, you're just irritating me. My back still hurts really bad.
Like, don't touch me.
Yeah. Stop pounding on me. I thought my back still knows that there are 2 electrusion spikes in my back.
Coming my way.
Yeah. And it's there and it's like, and it, you know, it hits your nerves and it makes you just like,
exactly.
And like, they don't want you to move. So she's tapping harder. And I'm thinking, I'm still convulsing. And yeah, so.
I'm your tapper.
Yeah, I'm your tapper. I thought,
I'll tap you.
Oh, that's exactly what I thought. Wonder how many people have tapped you before we got out of here.
Exactly. Because I'm thinking, like, before I even got my epidural, I, like, you know, you don't want to be touched or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't, yeah. Yeah, no.
That was a bad day.
No, that was a bad day. Because I would look forward to my ablations and having that done for that good.
Yeah. I don't even mind colonoscopies. But I get those done at the hospital.
Sleep ever.
So, because that's propofol. And that, I understand Michael Jackson's affinity. It's like, I am sleeping. No one is stopping me. And when I wake up, I'm not going to be the slightest bit groggy. It's wonderful.
It's the best.
It is. For 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, he clearly slept for longer than 15 minutes at a time, which became a problem. But Love me some MJ.
Oh, funny. So, thought of you yesterday, church sermon. Matt Brown was doing a service, and he was talking about
rebuking the devil.
So he just made a comment. Here's my overall. I think they're stretching as I just continue to sit here. Anyways, he had said something about, some people just enjoy being with others. And he's like, some just like to make friends with strangers. And so Jen and I had this conversation on Saturday, which I do. I find it easier to talk to strangers because I don't know. I'm a very empathic person, and I don't know if I sense something and just feel like, and sometimes I can talk to people and it's like talking to a wall, but very rarely does that happen to me. And so Jen and I were talking about that. So I thought of you yesterday because Saturday you were telling me a story about Hobby Lobby that I think is kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. It's, and I've always been, first of all, I don't think I'm remotely welcoming in my face. So I don't know why people want to approach me and say anything to me at all.
You've got to have an aura of some sort that just,
I don't know.
The resting bitch face goes away. And...
aura. I got an aura. So I don't know, but people would just like say things. Well, first of all, I was being salty. I didn't have a great day, and I was not speaking positively at all. And so it's, I love it when you go in the store, there's 4 people in the store and you're thinking, wow, their sales are just tanking right now. It's a pretty day outside or whatever was going on. And nobody's in Hobby Lobby right now. And I'm feeling kind of bad. Good thing I'm juicing their sales today with this giant cart of crap. And then the lady that I didn't come in here for. And the lady gets on and goes, it's 15 minutes to close. Hobby Lobby customers, please make it forward with your purchases. And in her tone, in her voice, it's saying, we'd love to help you check out and exit our store after you've given us money. But her tone was like, get out. I have things to do and I'm waiting on a pizza. So the closer that we got to 8 o'clock, the saltier she became. And so she was standing at this back register, but there was this other little girl and she was checking us out. And there was like a line of 5 or 6 people. And so I look at the guy behind me and I go, she's worried about how fast people get out of here. Why doesn't she jump on a register and help this girl check people out? Yeah. And he starts laughing. He's like, good boy, what's her deal? I don't know. Well, of course she heard me. And, so she walks over away from the register. Like that was supposed to limit her ability to check people out. But anyway, so not a fire moment. I work on it a lot. But anyway.
We all have our moments.
I have a lot of them here lately, but I'm trying my best. So anyway.
But we recognize them.
We recognize them and we talk it out.
Yeah, we talk it out.
And then we just keep on rolling. So, so this, she wasn't going to help this girl. And this poor little girl checking everybody else, just apologizing. And I said, my son tells me that I apologize more than Canadians. So I'm going to use that on you. But she's just going, I'm sorry, like everything she'd moved. Because she was worried that she was taking too long. But she was being very cautious and she was conscientious and she was thoughtful and she was kind and she was a nice person. So this guy behind me is just rolling because I guess he can see my nose holes flaring. At every 2 minutes, every time somebody walks through the door, Salty gets on and starts telling him exactly what time it is again and wants everybody out of the store. Well, so he and I are just yucking. We talk about the picture that he's got in his cart because things are moving slowly in this checkout line and I've got lots of time to talk to him. So I'm just striking him. He's laughing, going, you're cracking me up, lady. You're funny. So the next day, I'm not happy with all my purchases. So I go to take some purchases back. It wasn't anything to do with the quality. They were fine quality. I'm not good with florals, so I needed to return them. So I decided to take them back. Old boy walks in with another picture in his cart, and he sees me in the beach decor aisle and goes, hey, and I go, you didn't bring your picture back, did you? Picture back. Your picture back. And he goes, no, I'm getting another one. And so we just he's got his buddy Marvin with him. We start making friends. I talked to these 2 dudes in the aisle of Hobby Lobby for 30 minutes. We were howling and everybody around there is just looking all salty because, they're just trying to get their stuff and be all bougie and leave with themselves. And he's like, yeah, I got to get another picture. I'm decorating my house. My mom's coming into town. My wife doesn't like to do this stuff. I said, oh, wife don't like your mama. So, it was just funny. We were just having a big old time talking about it. Marvin's like, I don't know why I don't come to Hobby Lobby more. This place is great. We're having a great time. And it was just, and so.
But because you were there, that's why it was a great time.
I don't know. The other guy was there and he was funny and he kept
just brought out the best in each other.
Yeah, we did. It was like, I go, where are you from originally? He goes, Detroit. I'm like, ooh, no, not even Detroit wants to be from Detroit. Like, we were just joking with each other and laughing, and it was just super funny. We just had a great time. It is.
Sorry,
it's time for the sun to set, and it's because you're brighter than the sun, Cass. Shining brighter than the sun. And so, yeah, we just had a big old time. And so, but I walked away from there thinking, I said 4 million things that were the wrong thing to say, because that's what I do. But like, when this is over, I will beat myself up like nobody's business. Not to talk to you, because I know you're my friend and I can be real with you. But, you know, like in the event that somebody's going to watch it later, I'm going to go, oh, there's no telling what they're going to be saying about that.
But I mean, but we shouldn't worry how people are judging, or, I mean, we shouldn't judge, obviously.
Right.
You know, but the same thing.
But we're terrible. We're our own worst judges.
We are. And, you know, as much as I like want to stop lives and record and edit and whatever, like I want to do that, but I'm not techie, which we've already talked about that too, that you and Michelle will probably jump into that ship and really get things going. But that's what's good about live, because there is no editing.
There's no editing.
I mean, and that can be good and it can be bad.
It can be.
But I mean, I feel like when you can edit, you know, you cut out some of the stuff that probably really needed to stay. Like do you ever watch, Juggling the Jenkins?
Yes, I love her. Oh my
God, she's the best.
She's very funny.
She is hilarious.
Yeah, and she's not at all silent about her mental health struggles, which is one of the things that I really love about her. She's so transparent.
Did you go watch her when she was at Marion Cultural Center?
I did not. I didn't know she was there until after she was there.
And I didn't know how Dominique has always been following her. And so
I know she's the one that got me hooked on her too.
Yeah, probably so.
My favorite skit is one of the first ones I've seen, where she dresses in all the different emotions.
Depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
That was another skit that we talked about wanting to do too.
It was good.
It is. It's really,
that's
good.
my brain.
Yes, like, absolutely. Juggling the Jenkins. I can't think of what the skit's called, but I mean, it was like, she was anxiety, she was depression, she was all of them.
She was the manager, because she had the manager standing up and was telling all of the emotions what they were going to do today and what they were going to worry about today and what they weren't.
Like,
she did.
I don't know how to do that. Like the recording and putting it all together. I'm not good at, I don't know how to.
I don't know. I told you I really like Welcome to Chickenlandia on YouTube.
Yes.
Because I got chickens for my grandson, and then now I'm raising these chickens that are still in my garage. So anyway, I don't even know. I know that Dahlia Monteroso would not judge me, because she says, if you're loving your chickens, you're doing it better than them living in a big factory. So, but anyway, she's such an upbeat, uplifting person. I love to watch her, but she credits at the end of every one of her YouTube videos and her Bach Talk podcast that, BAWKTAWK. Love you, Dahlia. That hashtag Bach Talk. That, she uses these certain companies that help her put her things together, because it's too much. She has a huge following. Who knew there was such a huge following for chicken people? Right. But, yeah, But she must have a connection of some sort that just makes it work. So we can be delegators and find probably someone who's 14 that can do the tech.
Well, actually, I'll have to say that, because Casey, my son-in-law, is really good. I just need to get Casey and Kelsey on board. It's just sometimes they get way ahead of me, and so then I'm like, because things cost money too to do, and I'm you know.
Slow down, Chippy. We'll get there.
Yeah, I got to do what I can do, and you know.
You can get on board, but let's not.
I mean, this is working, right? I mean, people are watching it.
I don't know. Are they? Well, I think we still have.
Or they replay it at least. If they're not watching it right now, they do end up replaying, and so you know, as long as that's still going down, and we get new members still. Thank you, by the way.
You're very welcome.
You shared, and I was like, woke up this morning and looked. I was like, 524 people. It's like, score.
And I didn't even get to invite everybody, because I think like it'll only let you invite so many, and then it goes, you're done.
Pass it along.
Yeah. So you're done. I bet they heard it with these great microphones.
Probably.
Cass got some great microphones.
So so I'm good with just easily meeting up with strangers too.
What's your favorite meet up with a stranger story?
Well, I would have to say my most, and I kind of shared it, when Jeff went through his ordeal in 2015, where he,
Tried to meet Jesus, didn't he?
He did try to meet Jesus, dang it. And the older gentleman that was there, that I figured he was there for his wife, and then come to find out it was like his late 30s, early 40-year-old son with stage 4 colon cancer.
Oh gosh.
And I was seeing him every day, and just frail, sweet looking little man, you know. And so my sister-in-law were playing cards one day, and he walked in with a bag. And he's like, do you girls want any, I think it was pound cake maybe or something from Panera. He's like, the nurses brought this all in for me, which I thought super sweet, because they were thinking of him, brought him something, you know. He's like, I can't eat it all. I'm by myself, you know. And so we sat down and literally like this, just talked like we knew each other forever.
Isn't that awesome feeling?
It is an awesome feeling. And I mean, it's because we were both going through some crap times, you know, that it was nice to be able to talk to somebody and just relate, I guess. And I mean, literally at the end of our conversation, which wasn't the ending of it, but he was like, will you go with me to see my son?
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, sure, you know. And so we did. He's like, do you care if I go and see Jeff? And I'm like, absolutely not, sir. You know, so we walked in there, and so best of buds. He's got 2 daughters that still keep in touch with. I actually met a lot of people in that family. So, but still, Galen, gosh, I don't know how, it's been a couple of years now. It's crazy how time flies by. But prior to his passing, I mean, we've met up for, dinners. Galen, he would call me. He's like, I was just thinking about you. I still have a voicemail from Galen.
Oh my gosh.
That I will not get rid of it, because just that voice was just.
It was peace for you in a time of no peace.
It was.
Yeah.
And so, his son passed. We were in St. Louis at that time. So his son had passed, but I don't know if we exchanged numbers. I really don't remember how we must have done something. I don't know what we did, but that was 2015. So
wow.
I'm surprised I remember that much, but that was, I mean, I have a lot of good stories, but that's probably my all-time favorite, that, just because really during that tragedy for me, a lot of people came into my life that just didn't think mattered so much at that time, that I'm grateful for.
Yeah, that's really neat.
So yeah, Galen Hope, one of my faves. But his daughters lived out of town, and so, you know, they would try to come on the weekends and stuff like that. So that would be the only time he would really have people with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a cousin or whatever that lived in Marion that would try to, you know, come by, and whatever. But I mean, for the most part, he was by himself, and that was sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
But
that's a large burden to bear on your own.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, I think his wife had passed not too long before that from cancer.
Oh my gosh.
So just a lot, but super sweet guy. Yeah. So Galen Hoke, one of my faves.
That's a neat story.
Yeah. I'll have to play his voicemail so you can hear it sometime.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I hope I never ever lose it.
Yeah.
But so yeah. So what about you?
Probably some of my favorites are random confessions that people give me. Like I said, I am not welcoming in the face. I don't have a friendly face. It's not that I don't want to.
But I don't think I do either.
Oh, you're always smiling on the outside.
Am I?
Yeah, I think so. You have a very sunny disposition. Yeah. And you do. And you're a lovely person. And I think you're very approachable. And I feel like...
That's funny, because people I work with don't think I am.
That's because you work with them.
But I think, you know, because people are like, oh, so, you know, anyway, it's not about me. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
it's okay. And that's the next thing that happens. I will just like jump in, because it's just.
No, I do that. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Jumping into conversation, because basically.
Somebody says something.
Yeah, somebody says something, and basically a light bulb goes off. I get a little movie, and I need to say it. If I don't say it, I'm going to forget it. It's because I'm excited about what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got to jump in. But I have had the most random conversations with people. And I can be sitting and just looking like a gruff old bulldog. And I had some chick, I'm pretty sure she was drunk or high or something, but she just sidles up to me in Taco Bell one night and starts spilling out her whole life story to me. And I'm like, why, God? Why? What am I supposed to do? You know, I believe that I was taught this, that God's always doing something in you or through you.
Yep.
So it's like, okay,
100%.
what do you want me to learn with this one? And I was even going through Macy's one time at Carbondale, and there's this kid that is wailing. You know, the kid's in the stroller, the mom's pushing it, the kid's like screaming their head off. And you know this mom just wants to crawl in a hole.
Oh,
we all have been there.
We've all been there and done that.
Yeah. Oh, just please, if Jesus is coming back, now's the time because I can't get this kid out of Macy's fast enough. This kid shuts up as soon as he sees me and goes, I just got a spanking. And I really didn't do anything. And I went, I'm so sorry. Are you okay now? And he goes, yes. And like, that was it. But like, I don't know why this kid needed to confess this to me. I just happened to be the random stranger that passed that he needed to just get this off of his chest. But it was so funny. It was just.
What did his mom do?
She was just like, oh, like he's telling on her and she just wants to croak anyway.
And she's probably thinking, oh great, this lady's going to turn me in for spanking.
Yeah, no
and you're
kidding.
like, no, more power to you.
Fits in public, the best fit in public, it doesn't have anything to do with me, but me and the kids were at Disney one year and, we were in the Lego store. And so there's this little British kid and he's dressed like Lord Fauntleroy. He's got on his little short jacket, short pants, knee socks, and, slickery shoes. And his mom is horrified because I can know exactly, you can look at the mom's face and know exactly what she's thinking. She's going, I don't know what the rules are here. And I'm probably going to land myself in the pokey. And because this kid has seen this fireman out of all the Legos in there that you could put on a plane, he sees this fireman pack that's way up on the wall that has a hose and you fill it with water and you can actually make it squirt. And this place is literally elbows to buttholes, we say. Elbows to buttholes in the Lego store. And this kid, who is in the most proper Queen's English, goes, I want it, and I won't stop screaming until you buy it for me. And she's dragging him across the floor, and his little shiny shoes are just sliding across the floor, and she's just wanting to die. It's about 105 degrees in the shade, and it's evening, and he's having a conniption, and she's going, we can't get it home. We can't get it home. We can't fit it on the plane. How do you expect me to get it home? And he's not hearing it because he's just, I'll not stop screaming until it's mine. And it was just hilarious. And so we've often used that with the kids were little. They weren't little. They were like junior high and grade school age. But then we've had many opportunities over the years to go, I won't stop screaming until you buy it for me. It was super funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's one I wish I had on replay because I'd just like to replay that one. I mean, I could replay it over and over in my mind, but I'd like to share it with others because it was the stuff of hilarity, like the kind of videos that you watch and you think every time I'm in a bad mood, I can watch that over and over. Like if somebody dies in our family, we watch Joe Dirt. Because if you're sad, if you're super sad, you just watch Joe Dirt. Because how do you stay sad when somebody's going like, you mean to tell me you're so ingrained with white trash that your facial hair just grows in like that? Like, yep, that's pretty much what I got, So Joe Dirt, don't class it up, buddy. It's just Joe Dirt.
I don't know. I never thought about really Joe Dirt.
How do you not?
I don't know. I'm thinking like my go-to would be, this is 40. It's always my go-to.
It's like when we were having our fruit over the weekend.
Oh yeah, Jen had to buy some fruit and immediately it's like, fruit? You need to buy some fruit at Walmart. So yeah. So anyway, that's about all I got down.
Yeah. I don't know how long this has been going.
I don't either.
Is it just kind of soft after a while? Does it tell you a time on there?
I mean, honestly, it will when we click finish.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see. 58 minutes and 43 seconds.
See?
Look at that.
Even when we have no topics to talk about.
0 topics. Yeah.
So, back to, I'm not done. So back to, mental health and all of that stuff. So I do think it's easier for the women, for ladies, because so some people are like talking out, it's all about, girls and whatever. And it's not. I mean, we may end up getting on those topics, but I mean, ideally, like I'm all about having anybody who wants to come and chat with us. Scott Gant, I still, you still need to come and just hang with us sometime. Look at me like I'm glowing.
Yes. It's that sunny disposition.
Yeah. But I think it's easier for women that the men have a struggle with that. Like us women have to have our girl time.
Yeah.
Like I'm lucky enough to have different group of friends that I can, do different things with. But I don't think the guys really have that.
Well, I think they have their groups and they decompress when they're with their groups, but I don't think they typically talk much. And if they're going through a specifically hard time, I don't think they talk about that, because I think this is stereotypical, but I think most men consider that a sign of weakness.
Well, and I agree. And so it's funny because, not funny, but I mean, same thing. We feel like it's just us having these feels. I think that they feel the same, and they're just like, whatever. But I mean, they need to talk just as much as
they do.
So that's a struggle. I don't know I want to fix that.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but so men, if you've got any suggestions out there,
Yep.
Let us
And
know.
if there's a topic that you would like, you feel like you're thinking about it and you wonder why somebody doesn't ever talk about this, like, just shoot a comment and let us know what the topic that you'd like to hear about. We could talk about anything. We could talk about bad pedicures. We could talk about the healthcare industry. We could talk about, we could talk about, well, I would say, basically we do talk about religion, but not so much. I mean, I love people no matter what religion or lack of religion they are. So it's not like we're segregating ourselves or finding a certain demographic.
Right.
Everybody's welcome to talk it out.
Absolutely.
Everybody has to talk it out.
Right.
Doesn't matter what is your persuasion.
Yeah, I think somebody had made a comment, a couple of people that reached out, Michelle, is it Christian based? And I mean, we're not perfect by any means. I mean, I think it's a nice base to have, but by no means, I mean, that's, yeah.
Well, if we're talking it out, and if you're in a group of people and they are talking something out, like they're just having a convo about something, the people are going to talk about their experiences. And a large part of my feelings and a large part of who I am is my faith. And I know you're the same.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I
don't. Mine is stronger now because of my situation in 2015. I mean, to me, that's just where my, life's too
a brush
short.
with death will change the way you think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, don't want anybody to think that they're excluded from this. Don't want men to think they're excluded. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, whether you're man or woman, if you don't know the difference, or if you haven't been one from the get-go and you changed your mind midway, you're always welcome to talk it out. We could talk that out. So then back to, because we were talking about juggling the Jenkins. Mm-hmm. So when she came to Marion, so her and, oh my gosh, cannot think of his name, but she has her and another guy, friends, do a podcast type thing. And so the other day she did a video, and she's like, so I was supposed to let you all know that we're not going to do an episode this week, just kind of, I don't know, mental status, whatever. And I was supposed to get on here and announce that we weren't going to do it, but she's like, I forgot. So here I am letting you guys know. And she's like, just remember, it's just me and whatever his name is.
I can't think of his name. Oh my gosh.
Just call him Mr. Bill.
It's just the two of us. We're recording, we're doing this, we're editing, whatever. And so, and then that's why I'm like, I sent that to Michelle. I was like, that's us. It's just the two of us now. It's the three of us.
Yeah.
Maybe the 4 or 5 of us we can get. I want to grow. That's really what I would like to do. And
absolutely.
Because I mean, I think you can just get a lot of different conversations. I mean, we had absolutely nothing really planned.
You know what we're not?
Today. What?
We are not The View.
No, we are not The View.
We are not The View.
No.
We talk about things we know about.
Yeah. I will say.
Or at least that we think we know
I'm
about.
not a politics kind of gal. So that is one thing that I will not.
That's my favorite part of my job, is that I am not allowed to be political.
Right.
I have my political viewpoints.
Right.
I just call them personal convictions. I have my personal convictions. They may not align with your personal convictions. That doesn't mean that we can't be pals.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's another thing. People just can't,
I just think that everything has become so segregated on every level in this country. We're segregated by age. We try so hard to be non-discriminatory that we've pushed it to so far to the other end where we discriminate against everything now.
Yeah.
By making everything an issue, it segregates everyone.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to fit in every box. We all have certain boxes that we fit in. And no, just by virtue of everybody needing to have a group and have their group known. And I don't mean that for any group in particular. I mean, I was raised in Church of God. That was Church of God, Cleveland, Tennessee, not Anderson, Indiana. That's a different denomination. But I remember when I was a kid growing up, the denominations were against the other denominations. Like, I was raised in a Pentecostal, like a full gospel, but not apostolic. Don't confuse us with the apostolics. And also, some of the older people in my church thought all the Baptists were going to hell. Like, it was just the craziest thing. It's like we all serve the same God.
Right. Absolutely.
And denomination is the dictum that you all have written. That's all that is man-made rules.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't be pointing your finger thinking that some other denomination is not doing it right because they're not doing it the same as you. Like, we are all going to do life so different, but that doesn't mean that we're all doing it wrong.
Right. Yep. That's true. So true.
To be cliche, there's no dress rehearsal, much like live. Talk it out.
All right. So, Michelle, if you are watching, love you, miss you. Hoping you're okay. Can't wait to have you back. I've been texting Jody. She may have been texting me as we're doing this. I think she's ready. We're going to try maybe Saturday morning. But I don't know what everybody's agendas are, and what works best. But I texted her and I was like, I know I'm getting on your nerves, but do you think? So she's like, you're not getting on my nerves. I mean, she is just as excited. She's really been, I had sent her questions, a while back that she's just been journaling and doing all sorts of stuff. So I'm super excited to have her on here. And I think we probably will get more into the healthcare side of it too, because we talked about that a little bit the other day.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I saw her at the local nail salon and she was getting a pedi and she looks amazing.
She does. She looks really, fantastic. Really good.
You would have zero idea that she's been through what she's been through.
Well, and that's the same with Lori Brown, Matt's wife. I mean, same thing. You would have had no idea of everything that she's gone through. And I don't know Lori's sister well enough, but I've seen her that I wouldn't have thought that she's going through the things that she's going through. So
I didn't know she was.
Amazing.
Wow.
Chelsea.
Chloe. I went to high school with their older brother.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's all we got for today so far. So,
but if you're watching later, please comment so we can have some clue who's watching this and give us ideas, things you want to hear about. Give us tips. Hey, your camera's crooked and it really throws off my OCD. And the sun glares off Jen's glasses and it makes everything look terrible in there. So just shout it out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're doing with what we got.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully these little mics worked really well. Hopefully.
I hope so.
So we'll find out when we go back and watch it.
You need dinner. Clearly. I hope your belly growls picked up on this magnificent mic. We did test it on Marco the cat.
Yeah, we did test it on Marco the cat.
Out at Kelsey's and put the mic down by Marco and it picked up his purr.
He was barely even purring too. Like you could barely hear him. And I put the mic and he's like,
yeah, cool. It was good.
I sent it to Kelsey. She's like, I miss him so much. So anyway.
Thank you very much for inviting me to come and join you guys. I'm super stoked.
Hopefully we can get, honestly, my, as much as I love having the chairs and whatever, my dream is to really have a round table.
Yeah. Table discussions.
And so.
We're better with each other.
We are, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cause others bring out the best in me for sure. So, and anybody we've had on here, we were like, oh, you need to come back. You need to come back. So yeah, anybody who ever feels like it. I know there's, Jennifer Pierce from work. She's like, I want to be on there sometime. I mean, we may not talk about anything, but you know.
Is that Jennifer Pierce, former Pier 1 Jennifer Pierce from Carterville? Is that a different one? She married to Kevin and they grew zinnias? Okay, different one.
Different one.
Okay.
She is PEARC.
Okay.
So anyway, she's the one that that when I met a couple friends for breakfast at the vault one morning and walked in and she had that familiar face. Like I don't get out and about at the VA a whole lot, you know, and but I knew her somehow, some way. And I was like, hey, you know, and So walked on past her, and as I'm sitting in there talking with my friends, Jennifer walks in there and she's like, I just want to let you know who I am, and started talking. She's like, I saw your shirt, and because I was wearing to Talk It Out,
Yeah.
and she's just like, I think what you guys are doing is amazing, and I just wanted to, and so it's just funny how. So then I was like, yeah, so we're famous.
Well, you make a lot of connections at the vault.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
funny.
So anyway, it's fun. If anything, it makes me feel better in the long run. So I guess it's that's all that really matters.
Yep.
And surely somebody's laughing.
I hope so.
I don't know how not.
If you're crying and that makes you feel better, do that.
Oh, yeah.
If you watch this and you need to primal scream and that makes you feel better, we still have succeeded.
Yes. So thank you. Continue to support for our newbies that, what's your name? Jen has, sent invites to. Please share anybody that you think that would, enjoy this type of environment. Someday Jen and I should play on the voice changer.
Yes, that'd be
someday
fun.
we'll just have it all. Someday we'll have everything and not have to worry about the someday and just be doing it. So until then, bear with us. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening. And as soon as I know more information on Jody Gerald's and get that from her, I will be posting that so you guys will know. And again, even if you don't attend live, don't let that be like, oh, I missed their live. You can always go back and play. I'm trying to keep it to where they never go away, but I don't know how long that'll last. But, so even if you can't watch live, you can always replay it later and watch everything and still comment. So I'll go back through and watch and I'll be like, ooh, throw some hashtags out there and try to get some people to join. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I guess I can just